What's up, party people? It's your boy Rusty Cage here. If you didn't already know, State of the YouTube, the podcast, has ended like about a year ago. And so we started a new one called TrashRats, hosted by me, Mumkey Jones, and Reactor. Unfortunately, Reactor overslept while we were recording this first episode, even though we were recording at 10 p.m. So it's kind of just me and Mumkey mulling around some ideas, trying to figure out what the podcast is even supposed to be about and bullshitting. Also, I was pretty drunk at the point of the podcast recording, so I apologize for any slurred words and long gaps while telling stories. But here it is, episode 1, the pilot episode of TrashRats.
Okay, you want me to do the intro?
Do we have an intro?
I'm a very experienced podcaster, Rusty. I think I can handle a good
Everything
morning
needs an
Vietnam.
intro. Sure, go ahead. Let's do it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Trash Rats podcast. And now, the guy who is the trashiest rat of them all, Mr. Simian Jimmy. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Oh, please, your applause is unnecessary. Oh, thank you. Rusty, edit in some audience applause for this part. And our other host, Mr. Rusty Cage.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Let's not forget our third host, Reactor.
Cricket sound effect.
Reactor, are you there?
It's almost like we've been waiting a full hour for Reactor to show up to film this first episode that we scheduled and planned, and he's still not here.
It's embarrassing. The first episode of this podcast, which, does it have a name yet?
The Trash Rats podcast, I think.
I'm saying we go with Trash Rats because that's the best name.
Speaking of hosts who are not on the show, Rusty, I think we should just address not just Reactor, but the other elephant not in the room, that being Emp Lemon. Most people listening to this probably know that you, I, and Emp Lemon did a podcast called State of the YouTube for about a year. And thanks to you, Rusty, our audience is composed mostly of 12-year-olds who try to find the YouTube drama in everything, and they're probably thinking that since Emp Lemon is not part of this show, that maybe, behind the scenes we must be fighting with him. We probably hate him. None of us are friends anymore.
I mean, he does have me muted on Twitter. Which
does he really?
He said he's trying to like keep up with a certain amount of Twitter followers. He only wants like 69 Twitter followers, and he's like, he said I barely made the cut. I'm like, God damn it, motherfucker! I'm your friend IRL.
Yeah, and you guys live like 3 miles from each other, don't you?
Yeah, something like that.
But the answer is, for those of you wondering, for the hot scoop, and we've talked about this before, but we'll just, it bears repeating. Emp Lemon just does not like the podcast format very much, and he doesn't want to do it. But he did say he'll come on this show, whatever this show ends up being, every once in a while. So we will hear from
it
Emp
still seems
eventually.
like he's down with the idea of coming on a podcast, and he still wants to stream. I guess he means stream on my Twitch channel, but that's the same thing as a podcast. I don't know if he might just not like you, Monkey.
I've heard about as much. I legitimately have more discussions with his girlfriend than him, so maybe he doesn't like me.
Well, there's a snake in every field of grass.
True. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? So that's the excuse for why Emp isn't here, and we have the excuse for why Reactor isn't here. So what is this show, Rusty?
See, now it's going to be like weird because we have to figure out what do we actually talk about on this podcast. So
yeah, that's the thing. Reactor said he was going to bring in an hour's worth of discussion topics, and then he just didn't show up.
Motherfucker. I do actually want to do this, though. Because where do we host this show? Do we post it on Saudi? Do we post it on a brand new YouTube channel and start entirely from scratch and see what the organic audience is, rather than try to sell them kind of a used car that they never wanted to buy?
Yeah. The last thing that the Saudi podcast audience wants is another podcast featuring you and me. They
Right,
definitely will revolt at that idea.
Well, most of them I think stuck around for Emperor Lemon himself, and I think a lot of people were really hurt by him leaving the show.
Well, I'm sure they can tweet at him about that now that he quit Twitter. He won't have to see it.
Or did he quit Twitter, or did he just block me? I don't even know.
You didn't see his big rant on Twitter about how Attica's suicide made him laugh?
I saw. Hold on. July 4th, I'm quarantining myself from Twitter. Okay, so that's
he quit Twitter.
All right, I guess I can talk as much shit about him as I want.
On Twitter you can, yeah. He'll never see it.
Or on this podcast. He's probably never going to listen to this either.
His girlfriend probably will.
Yeah, she kind of just relays everything to him.
But if I get a vote here, Rusty, and I hope I do, I think we absolutely should post this show on the State of the YouTube channel. Whether we change the name of it to Trash Rats or not, I think it would be idiotic to post this anywhere else.
Dude, definitely going to fucking change the name. State of the YouTube was a terrible name. I don't know why we signed. I think it's just because Emp is he's so convincing. It's hard to say no, but it's like State of the YouTube. Why would we have named a podcast that?
Well, because it kind of sounds like State of the Union.
Yeah. How many podcasts are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm just doing the Mumkey and Biggs show over on my Mumkey and Biggs channel, and I guess now this one, so we're up to 2. I used to do like 5 different podcasts at a time.
You don't say a lot of curse words, do you?
I mean, I've been known to drop some F-bombs in my time, but I like to pepper them in like spices in a delicious meal. You can't just eat nothing but spice.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can do it. Like, how do you keep up with that? And how often are you just sitting in front of your computer talking to essentially your recording system, looking at a blank screen?
Well, I mean, back in the day, it was almost a daily occurrence, but these days, I'm lucky if I get out a podcast twice a month.
Yeah, and that's the way to go. That's what everyone's doing. So here's the thing. Everyone has a podcast, and I don't listen to any of them unless they're super, super professional. If it's not like Joe Rogan or something, they're going to have big guests on. Then it's just a couple of guys hanging out.
Who are up to no good. Started making trouble in our neighborhood.
And, well, I guess that's us now until we get
Are you
Reactor with all the content.
Do you feel insecure about our audio quality or something? Because I think you're underestimating the expectations, overestimating the expectations of our audience. These people just want to hear us shoot the shit about anything. We don't need to be Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's really always what I wanted to do is just, I don't even know why I'm talking in this like up-pitched voice, going like, oh yeah, like I'm speaking to an audience. Fuck this audience. I don't know who they are. I don't even know who's going to be listening. I'm talking to just you, Mumkey, whose name I still am not sure exactly what it is.
We can introduce. We were debating last night who came up with the name Simian Jimmy, because from my memory, Emp Lemon came up with it on Twitter, and you thought that you came up with it.
No, I know for a fact I did. Not only did I tell you that in person, I said it on. Did I say it on Discord? I said it on my last Twitter.
It was on fucking Twitter.
No, hold on.
It was a reply from Emp.
I'm going to fucking find it.
How can you find it? Your Twitter accounts get deleted every 4 months.
Hold on. I'm going in Discord. I'm going to search for that main Discord we were in. Which one were we in that everyone was talking about?
I have no clue.
Nothing's showing up when I type in Simian Jimmy. But I told you. I said Simian Jimmy. And then Bedhead Bernie said Jungle Jim. And Simian Jimmy stuck. And we even talked about it. And then later on Twitter, you did a poll. What should my name be? And I said Simian Jimmy. And it had a shit ton of likes. But that Twitter's deleted. So now you're saying that Emp made that up?
I mean, I have a bit of a faulty memory, so who can say for sure, but I'm 99% sure Emp Lemon came up with the name. And it would still be on his Twitter. We would just have to scroll like a year back.
You know what? I should ask Emp. I should say, just ask him, like, did you come up with Simian Jimmy? And if he says, what? or whatever the fuck you'd say.
If
He's
only he
probably-
was on this podcast so he could just tell us.
Oh man, we'd already be talking about Susie Lou or some other bullshit. No, we'd be talking about how Disney is still sponsoring some advertisement. I don't know. I'm just so far out of YouTube at this point. It kind of sucks because like I've been on YouTube for about 11 years, and there was a good time where it was like, oh, I'm gonna come up on YouTube. I'm gonna make my name and make all these videos that I think I'm interested in, but really I just think that they're gonna get views. And now I don't want to do that at all because I'm old. I'm old and tired. And it scares
I mean,
me.
I know that you're pretty passionate about your comic book series. Do you think, like, after you focus on that and finally get it done, maybe you'll rekindle some passion for YouTube?
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's kind of like YouTube is necessary. You have to have YouTube so that you can stay, in the public eye.
Isn't that what your Instagram is for, though? You have the biggest Instagram following of anybody I know.
No, Instagram has been pretty much completely corrupted by Facebook, who owns it. So it used to be like, if you post posts that people want to see, then you'll get followers. But now they're trying to do this whole thing like, hey, if you want to grow your page, you have to pay into advertisement. And it sucks. I've been at this exact same follower count for about 2 months now, and it makes no sense. Because I see like, oh, this many people followed me today, but conveniently an equal amount unfollowed me that day. So it's one of those algorithmic things that is kind of like gaslighting. I know that's like a popular term being thrown around, but you're going, how is it that I'm no longer able to grow my Instagram channel at all? And is it because I'm being
having
lazy?
the same issue with Twitter, where I think in the last month I've lost 500 followers. Like, it was a net loss, and I'm wondering.
That sucks.
Well, and I don't even tweet that much, so I think it's because I keep liking things, and then the stupid algorithm will show people what I'm liking, and they don't agree with the things that I like, and then they unfollow me.
What are you liking?
I don't know, man. I follow some of your friends, and they're always posting like weird political shit, and sometimes it makes me laugh, and I'll drop a little heart on it.
I know, it just shows up on everyone's home feed.
Yeah,
like, hey, Simian and Jimmy liked anti-vaxxer documentary.
Yeah, and like, just because I like something doesn't mean I agree with it or I endorse it. I just thought it was funny. And I don't expect it. Like, if I wanted everybody who follows me to see it, I would retweet it. Why are they showing people my likes in their main feed? That's what's fucking me. So I'm at the point where I can't even like things anymore. I have to be unopinionated in every aspect if I don't want my follower count to drop.
Well, I will say this. I don't know what the fuck happened. I know I blocked you about a month or two ago because it was a joke, but then I refollowed you, right? You remember that?
Yeah, you're following me.
So I didn't see any posts from you for a long time. And then I was like, what the fuck? So I looked up Simian and Jimmy, and then I wasn't even following you, but I know I did. So I was like, did I get unfollowed? I don't understand what happened. Unless I did it drunk without like any sort of gimmick behind it. Like, I didn't tweet about it.
That's been the age-old issue with YouTube as well. Every day I'll get a message saying YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel. And what is even the point? Even if it's a dead channel or a bot, why is YouTube wasting their time deleting our subscribers?
No, it's a glitch.
Is it a glitch?
That's what they always say. Yeah, it's always a glitch. And
what
it's always
kind of
like,
glitch would do that? That doesn't even make any sense.
Right. What poor programming would go into making a website that just some specific channels get unsubscribed or unsubscribed from the user channels? It doesn't make any sense. They just blame it on that, and I think they're trying to curb, I guess, people's thoughts, especially as it gets closer to the election. It's going to get worse and worse closer we get to November.
Oh, yeah, because I post so many Trump and Biden videos, so I can see why the algorithm wants to fraud.
Well, me. But you also might just be on the spiderweb list, or some Venn
I'm on
diagram.
a lot of lists.
Shit, man, I thought I was until I got on an airplane about a year ago. Dude, man, we were supposed to go to fucking Japan. I was supposed to go to Japan 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'm glad
And
that when Brittany invited me, I said, nope, I'm not wasting my money on that.
yeah, right.
Thank
Well, it was a good
God.
idea. I mean, I almost got fully reimbursed, but there was still like like $400 for canceling a ticket. I'm like, that's not my fault. Stupid Canada Air.
Did you get a refund on your ticket to the suicide forest?
I mean, well, that's what it was. I mean, Suicide Forest essentially is all of Japan. So yeah, I don't know, man. That sucks. I get. Well, you're still doing better on Twitter than I am, but I keep getting fucked.
What was your biggest Twitter account before they all got banned?
I think it was the last one. Last one I was like at maybe close to 40,000. And it's like then I get banned for some stupid reason, something that makes
It's always
zero
for a
sense.
good reason.
No,
so
no, no,
often
no.
I'll see a tweet from you and I'll think, yep, Rusty's drunk and he's gonna delete that tomorrow. Why is he
No,
posting
I
this?
do that, but I make sure to delete it before I go to bed, and I'll look at it before I go to bed. And I say, is this gonna get me? Like it's like me mock hanging myself for something in my kitchen. I think it's a great, funny idea. At the time, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I'll make a video where I'm hanging myself, and then I go, ah, shit, it's gonna get me deleted, or maybe saying
You'll
the
post
N-word or
20
something.
tweets in the span of an hour about how the Irish are disgusting creatures and they
They
should
are.
be genocided.
They are, and I'll happily and gladly say that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying that's why your Twitters keep getting deleted.
No, man, the last one. Did you know why the last one got deleted?
No.
So the one before the last one was the first real. Wait. Yeah. It was the one before the last one was the first real illegitimate one. That was where Threat Destroyer. Remember this group that was on Discord and
Yeah.
they were going through Twitter and they were looking for every keyword that had something like kill or something that could be interpreted to be a threat. And making physical threats against someone is against the terms of service of Twitter. And this was right around the time that Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming out. So I just made a post. I said, I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption 2 to come out. I'm going to tie a prostitute behind my horse and drag her out to the woods and put bait on her for a cougar to eat her. And Twitter goes, yes, that is absolutely a threat. And I was like, well, hold on. I was talking about a game. And they said, we've reviewed yours, blah, blah, blah. They don't even review it anymore. Anyways, that one got deleted. So this last one was even more annoying because it was, shit. I forgot. I can't even talk about this.
Why can't you talk about it?
Well, I can't talk about this one because it's still possible to manipulate the system. But I got my Twitter account manipulated by someone who had ill will, not necessarily towards me, but towards a lot of Twitter accounts. And it was kind of like
was it that guy
hack.
who said, hey, send me Bitcoins, I'll send you twice as much back?
No, I was off Twitter that day. That's fucking hilarious though. That all the blue check marks got hacked with the Bitcoin scheme.
I think I saw like Joe Biden, Kanye West, all those big names.
Oh man, I wish I had checked my Bitcoin that day. I'm just waiting for it to blast back off so I can actually make my money back. You own any Bitcoin?
No, I don't. But speaking of stocks, how's your Movie Pass stock doing? I know you bought $50 in Movie Pass stock.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me check it real quick.
I think it might be worth negative at this point.
E-Trade? No, it was close to that, and I was holding on to it because I thought it'd be really funny. I don't think I sold it, but this was right as Movie Pass. It was the parent company for Movie Pass, which it's like HWYW. Right as Movie Pass was going under, I was like, this is my chance. I'll buy it at $50 when I was out at your house.
Yeah.
Or where you were living at the time. All right, let's go into E-Trade.
Yeah, I think it was down to like a penny stock, and you said, okay, I'll buy $50 worth just in case the company bounces back.
Okay, HMNY. That's the name of that's the code. What does that stand for? Helios Matheson Analytics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it looks cringy. Okay. So I invested at price paid $41.50. And the last price that it sold for was 0.0007. So my total gains are negative $48.45.
That's more than you spent.
No, it is. And then yeah,
you owe them more money.
I don't understand that. Also, it says total gains negative 100%. I'm 100% down. So it's probably the worst investment I've ever made. I don't know if anyone listening even cares about stocks, but
they do when it's some retard wasting his money. That's hilarious.
Well, listen, they're going to come back, and I'm going to be the sole owner with a single share. I'm going to be the last person, and eventually I'm going to own whatever the name was. Helio
I promise you,
Matheson.
They would sell you the company for like $50 right now.
God damn, what if I could just contact them and set up a board meeting? I get Helios, Matheson, and then maybe one other person who's still invested. And we could let's talk about the future of this company.
We should invite the president of MoviePass to be on our podcast. We could just do it live.
Oh, shit. If we can get him, I don't even know who this person is.
Well, he went on... The guy who made MoviePass did an interview on Screen Junkies, and I'm friends with Andy Signor, who got fired by Screen Junkies. So that's, there's probably a connection I can make.
Now, would that be something where he's going to just go like, hey, man, I really can't make that connection. Like, I know we know each other. Well, let's fucking do it. Let's get him on.
Yeah.
I say that if we did a podcast talking about MoviePass, or at least talking about this company as a still publicly traded company, we can at least raise it over $0.0007.
Yeah, maybe they'll be worth more than a fraction of a penny once they're done with us.
If you put $1,000 into HMNY right now, it would go up probably to 0.0008, and then everyone's making money.
Yeah, and then you sell it immediately, and that's instant profit. You probably make like 2 cents off of that.
No, man, you hang on to it. This is...
I think you should... We were talking before the show about, like, what should Rusty Cage's next big viral sensation be? I think you should do a whole series of videos giving, like, stock and business advice and tell people what they should buy and sell.
I feel like that would... Like, there's a lot.
Invest in MoviePass, folks. It's never been cheaper.
MoviePass. You talk about MoviePass. It's going down now, but wait till COVID's over. It's going to go right back up.
Once the movie theaters open back up.
Yeah, right, because they never will. The entire world, as we know it, is done. I don't think movie theaters are ever going to open back up. It's going to be at least like... Okay, so this is going back to what I was saying also before the show. Do you think that this is all political? Or do you think that there's any politics involved with why, like in my hometown, all the bars are closed. They're not allowed to serve alcohol at any bar in Florida. Yet a pool hall and restaurants are allowed to serve alcohol. That seems like something that's illogical, and I think a lot of this is a little bit forced politics. And this is something that could easily change the second the election happens.
So the way I see it, we have to break it down by if anything revolving around COVID and all the guidelines, if any of it is some sort of political conspiracy, the question would be who is running the conspiracy and what do they have to gain? And that's what we would have to figure out before anything else.
Not necessarily who's like creating the conspiracy, but who is profiting off of it.
Well,
because it doesn't even need to be a conspiracy. No, I don't think so. Because like whenever there's any tragedy, politics is always going to get its filthy, grubby hands in it. Not necessarily like if there's a school shooter, politics is going to inject itself into it. They didn't create the school shooter necessarily. Like they didn't like hire crisis actors. I'm not going to go that deep, but they're going to take clear advantage of the fact that it's happening and try to manipulate it towards their causes. And at that point, then it starts getting shady where you're going, what am I hearing? Is what I'm hearing even accurate, or is it being overly emphasized? Now, I personally am terrified of the COVID virus and all other strains of it that might, manifest. Like I bought a house for the exact reason of owning my own shit, because there's like fucking 40% of renters who are being kicked out of their homes by landlords. They're gonna revolt.
That's why you had to
China
buy a
did
house, because
this.
you got kicked out of your last place, right? Because they wanted to sell it.
Yeah. The last two places I was at, I was in there for just a single leasing year, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna sell it." And even the last one I was living in, they already have like inspectors going inside and whatnot, which sucks because I've only been there for like fucking 7 months, and then they're like, "Hey, so anyways, we sold the house, and the new owner is gonna have inspectors coming in." And then like there's like a plumber, and he's sending me texts. He's going, "Yeah, the water's not gonna work for a few days because of something." I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I live here. I'm paying rent on this place. I should get compensated for that, at least, that the water doesn't work for 5 days. It doesn't matter if I'm moving into a new house. I'm still renting this place out because I want it to be operational. I don't know.
Maybe
what that
the
has to do with
inspector
COVID.
thought he was there for the frat party.
You know what's weird is like, it's not even that story. So the story of like the guy who broke in my house at the last place I lived, broke in my house and then robbed me of my change. Everyone talks about this old story from about a year before where my crackhead neighbor stole my bike, and they're constantly asking, "Is that a real story?" It's like, what world do you live in that it's even remotely crazy that your neighbor would steal your bike? Like, that's made up.
I was at Rusty's house for maybe that old house for maybe 5 days max, and even I experienced his crackhead neighbor, so I can confirm. Yeah, I could hear that bitch screaming all the fucking time.
Yeah. So I mean,
do you remember when I think we were filming Wheel of Punishment 2, or we were filming something, but like Emp Lemon and Asperger got into your neighbor's car by accident because we were going somewhere, and they thought it was your car.
No, it was, the lady that was parked out in front of my house. I forgot about that.
They got into some random person's car and just sat in it for 5 minutes.
That was the toothless meth head daughter of my next door neighbor that was living in front of my house. And I get it. Like, I guess that's kind of crazy, but it's like, I mean, what's the worst thing that happened to you, Mump?
I don't really have any neighborhood issues because I don't live in Florida, so things are pretty nice up here. But I think
that is just a Florida thing.
I think we should go back to your COVID conspiracies, because people are going to be upset that we didn't elaborate.
Oh, that we just jumped right over it.
Yeah,
sorry about that. I've already been drinking some whiskey. I mean, I wasn't thinking about this podcast. I didn't think we were even going to be doing it.
I thought Reactor was going to carry us on his back, but he fucked that up.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for that. Okay, so back to COVID conspiracies. Actual conspiracy-wise, I do think that the Chinese government is, whether or not they actually created it in a lab, there might not be a lot of evidence for it. Who knows? But they did definitely know about it a lot longer than they say they did, and they've been profiting about it. They've been profiting from it. They've been selling all of these, or no, they were the biggest sellers of like all these medical equipment, masks and whatnot, and then they just bought it back up right before it became a worldwide pandemic, and then they would end up selling it back to everyone who needed it. So they're making some money off of it. It's not really a dumb thing for them to do, but it's definitely sketchy.
I would say, in terms of the politics of the Chinese government, I don't think it's a damn, what's the word? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. I don't think it's a coincidence that the Hong Kong protesters, were in full swing when, now there's a new disease where you have to social distance and no more protesting, go home.
Now, how much power did the protesters have where that was really the reason why they would release a potentially global wide pandemic like that they didn't know at the time, and they would let the little vial spill out of fall off the counter and crack on the ground? and infect the first people in Wuhan.
I don't think the Chinese government really enjoyed having their people rise up against them. I would not be surprised if they poisoned their own people and then it spread around the world by accident.
Well, you see what happens whenever you give away territory from the British Empire back to the Asians.
You saying white people should own all the land?
No, I'm just saying that Hong Kong was doing pretty good until it got sold back to China in 1992.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, no, Hong Kong used to be owned by the British because of I think it's because of the Opium Wars. I'm not really sure.
I was confused because I'm working on a movie review right now, and the movie came out in 1977, and it said that the country of origin was Hong Kong, and I thought, well, wouldn't that just be China? Why doesn't it say China? But if it was a different country, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it might have been like its own territory. I'm not really sure, but I know that it was definitely one because it's an island, isn't it? This is how fucking stupid we are.
I don't. We need to ask Okinaru because he was.
I'm
just
pretty
there.
sure it's an island, and I'm pretty sure that the British Empire during the Opium Wars, if not sooner, gained ownership of it because the British pretty much owned everything at that point. They owned India, and the French owned like Haiti. And then they sold that back, and it went to shit.
Yeah, I would probably sell at Haiti pretty quick. That's worth less than MoviePass stock.
It was probably, oh man, yeah, I should invest in Haiti right now.
Yeah, you should make a video telling everybody to invest in Haiti.
Invest in Haiti. It's only on its way up. You gotta buy it.
It can't go any lower.
Look at the losses. Look at the buying power. It's only going up. There's a lot of buyers.
Let's hope another earthquake shakes up their economy.
Shakes it right up to the top. Let me grab some more liquor.
Okay.
Hey, what do you think about? Can you do an improv ad?
Oh yeah, like do like a fake BetterHelp ad like we used to do on the old show.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, while Rusty's getting his liquor, I just want to talk about my mental health real quick. You know, sometimes, especially in the COVID climate that we're all trapped in, some of us might be trapped alone at home and don't have anybody to console us or give us a hug because we have to social distance. Maybe the solution is to, pay $300 a month to have a text chat with a licensed therapist on BetterHelp.com. I think spending your hard-earned $1,200 of Trump bucks on BetterHelp is the ultimate solution for your mental health. I really do. If you use the code KNIFEGAME, KNIFEGAME101 at checkout to save 5%. Rusty,
are you laughing at your own jokes?
Well, did you hear anything I said?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's for the best. Let's move on.
All right. Good ad for BetterHelp.
Thanks.
Is that going to get us removed from the YouTube channel?
It might get us removed from the BetterHelp ad service, so they probably will not appreciate it.
I don't think we're ever going to get ads on this show.
Something I've been thinking about toying with that I used to do through Fiverr is just have fans give us their own ads. Like, for example, I have a friend named Rusty Cage who writes a pretty shitty comic book. Maybe somebody like him would say, oh, this is a podcast, and they have a pretty low expectation of money. Maybe I'll throw them $50 and they'll talk about my comic book for 30 seconds,
Oh, yeah, actually, let's do that. But do we have to read the comic book? Like, would we
no,
have to...
no. My idea would be they send us a 40-word script that we read on air, and then they pay us for it.
Oh, I'd actually be 100% down for that.
Yeah, that's way better than relying on fucking BetterHelp.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and we could do like 3, just go to an ad break, and then it would actually be entertaining, hopefully. But what we'd have to have some limits because they're just going to make us say, the N-word or whatever.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, but back when I did it, it was like up-and-coming YouTubers wanted to like get their channel a boost and stuff like that. And
dude, you used to do some fucking cringy shit. Like, not cringy on your part, but low budget. Like, you do an entire video based on a concept, like a Mumkey anime review on something that someone paid you $100 to review.
Yeah, that was back when I was, 21, up and coming YouTuber, less than like 10,000 subs, and I had a Patreon goal, or like, hey, if you give me $100 a month on Patreon, you can like choose a video topic, and
True.
I used to like doing that, but it got a bit cumbersome, you could say.
No, I would imagine so. Also, I remember when you were $5 on Fiverr. I bought you.
Yeah, that was the first time we ever collabed, I think, was when you wanted me to say a bunch of disgusting shit in one of your videos.
No, it was just anti-Semitic stuff. It wasn't
Oh, yeah.
disgusting.
Nick Cannon approves.
Yeah. I told you I met Nick Cannon, right?
Oh, yeah, because you were on America's Got Talent, right?
Yeah.
Did he tell you look a little Jewy or something?
Yeah, he said, hey, little Jew boy, like, what's your Jew? I was like, Nick, I'm not Jewish. I'm clearly Scotch-Irish.
Did you really have a conversation with Nick Cannon, though?
I mean, he was out in like the backstage, and so he has to like kind of be cordial with all the guests that are about to go out. And so he'll say like, oh, like there was like a black choir group that was going on before me. Great group, by the way. A bunch of big old fat black ladies that
Did they put
sang
them on
some
the show
gospel.
since they snubbed you?
I don't actually remember if they put him on the show, but he was wearing some twinkly little shoes. They're like slippers that had rhinestones on them. And I just remember thinking like, God damn, those are some gay shoes. And I think I said, hey, Nick, hey, man, nice shoes. He's like, yeah, thanks, bud. Anyways, you're on.
Fuck you.
And like they
he
were
just
not
punches
nice
you
shoes.
in the face right before you go on stage.
Yeah. Also, I was like, I told this story last night. I just went on a podcast last night, but no one's gonna listen to it, so I'm just telling it again here. When I went on America's Got Talent, I've been on a few TV shows. Wait, only two actually. America's Got Talent and this German show. And on the show in Germany, they have like a makeup artist who tries to pretty you up for camera. You know, they know how the lighting's gonna affect your skin and
Did
your
she
camera
take one look
angles.
at you and say, "No, it can't be done. I quit"?
No, like on the German show in Germany, they like the lady comes in and she's like powdering my face with like powder to try to get rid of all the grease and whatnot.
Impossible.
Yeah, and no, they had to do it a few times. And then I go on America's Got Talent, and they're like, we don't give a fuck about that at all. So they had mirrors like all around the like the backstage where all the contestants are. So there's like mirrors and like makeup. They're like, bring your own makeup. I was like, fuck. I don't have makeup. And also, they invited me out there. I didn't realize that they were gonna treat me like a normal contestant. Because like I had no idea what the show was. I'd never watched America's Got Talent in my entire life, and so I didn't know what you're even up to win. I was like, they're just bringing me on because.
Yeah, what do you win on that show? Like,
I'm a
Vegas
parlor
show.
Act. What was that? Yeah, you win a Vegas show, and man, I was underprepared. Whoever the producer that reached out to me was, or like the talent coordinator, they didn't tell me shit. So I'm going out there. I'm going like, I know what this is. They're gonna bring me out. I get a little bit of FaceTime on, national television. I do some wild act, and then they say you don't get to move on, and that's it. But then they're asking me questions like, well, what would you do if you win? I was like, wait, what do you win?
You're like, I don't even know what the prize is.
No, I was like, I don't like. There's no way I'm gonna win. Why would I win? Like, I have no backstory. I was only brought on with the understanding that I have this one act, and this is like a 3 to 4 tiered show. So I wasn't even told that I was supposed to have more than one act. And they're like, well, what would you do? What would you do for the next act? I was like, fuck. So I have to make this up on the spot. Like I'm talking to like Simon Cowell. And just going like, I don't know. Like I guess
you were up on stage talking to the judges in front of the whole audience, making up answers.
Yeah, no, these motherfuckers fucked with me. It really was bullshit. Cause like I talked to the producer, or I talked to like the coordinator, whoever emailed me, and they asked me a few questions like, all right, what's your act? Give us a little backstory. I was telling them like, yeah, I lived in a shed in the woods of Florida, and that's when I made the Knife Game song. They didn't ask anything about like what I'm gonna do after that. So then I'm on the show, and backstage they're like, they set up this camera booth and you're supposed to do like this B-roll, like backstage interview. And they're asking me like, well, what will you do for your Vegas show? I was like, I honestly have no idea. So that was right before I go on stage in front of Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum.
Was Howie Mandel on this show?
Howie Mandel and Mel B. And then they're like trying to pick apart my story, like the narrative I gave them. Like they're trying to fuck up. I tried to give them good TV. You know, I gave them a story. I'm a creepy guy. I live in a shed. I play the Knife Game song. And then they're going, you lived in a shed. Well, where did you shower? And it's like, at my friend's house. And they go, oh, that's weird. Well, what? How did they charge you money? I'm like, fuck. Like, why are you asking me this? Why are you asking me this?
Yeah, that sounds like some bullshit.
It's clearly fake. And it's like, you brought me on here. It was almost like I was brought on to be embarrassed in front of thousands of people that were in the amphitheater behind these judges.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of those shows. Like, do you remember that Susan Boyle?
Well, no, yeah, but they
brought her out just so that the audience would laugh at her, and then she was really good.
And so I did my act perfect. I did it blindfolded, and then they go, well, what will you do for the Vegas show? And it's like, I've never even thought about this for 1 second. What am I going to do?
You guys invited me, fucker.
Like, I'm going to do the Knife Game, but I guess I'll do a backflip and breathe fire. Like, I don't know the fuck. And then the producer who he's pretty much like the Wizard of Oz guy behind the curtain. He's sitting about 25 feet above the stage, looking at the judges and talking to them through like their earpieces. And I think he just said, Howie vote no. Heidi vote no. Simon vote yes. And Mel vote yes.
Wait, you got 2 yeses?
I got 2 yeses and 2 nos, so that wasn't enough. You need 3 to pass. And it didn't make any sense because at first, like, Heidi Klum was trying to, put her charm. I think she wanted to fuck me.
Oh, I bet.
Because I was I was unbathed for about a week. I had greasy, uncut hair.
Yeah, do you think that's why they couldn't use your footage? Was because you didn't do any makeup, so like there's a big glare on the camera lens from your greasy face?
I really did think about that. I was going because I didn't expect that would be a thing, and so I was like, shit. Because I was hungover, and they didn't feed us.
You were hungover. You got drunk the night before you went on America's Got Talent.
Yes. All right.
Why?
All right. So it was a 2-day filming. All right, hold on. It was a 2-day filming. I went out there to Pasadena, and so we got hotels. They booked the hotels for us. I met a few of the contestants. We went to this big kind of like theater, and we were in this like giant room where there's a main stage somewhere else. So we're all just walking around like waiting. Are we going to do our backstage interviews? Are we going to do our B-roll footage type of stuff? Also, when are they going to feed us? We're there for about 8 to 9 hours for 2 days straight. And the most they fed us was a bagel. So they didn't feed us anything. Also, though, this is my fault. My buddy lived in East LA. And so I was like, hey, man, I'm out in California. I'm right in Pasadena. He's like, oh, shit, man, that's like, I don't know, 45 minutes away. I'm not really sure the distance. He's like, I'll come pick you up.
Well, so what's your friend's address? I'll just put it into Google Maps.
Yeah, he doesn't live there anymore, and he's dead, so it doesn't matter. Never mind. So we get like a 5th of Jameson, and then we fucking drink the entire thing.
So stupid.
No, I know. But we were talking about like Black Mirror. And like the first episode of Black Mirror where the guy goes on a game show and I think he like cuts himself with a piece of glass.
Oh, fuck.
You thought he was trying to put like antics in my head like, hey man, you got airtime. Do something crazy. But then also I was like, it's not live air, so you can't really do anything crazy.
But if you would have like chopped off your finger, I guarantee you're on the show.
So either way, we drank the entire fucking bottle. So I drank half a fifth of. I probably got like 4 hours of sleep after half a fifth of whiskey.
It's called.
And then I wake up, and I'm half a fifth.
Half a fifth is a tenth.
What are you? Fairmont?
Yeah.
Is this your last theorem?
So stupid.
I know. Cut this out. Cut this
No,
out, producer.
it's all staying in, fucker.
I know, right? Because I'm the one that's gonna have to edit this.
Heaven
So
forbid.
anyway, but no, it really was stupid because it's like I was riddled with Adderall. Essentially, I was
Oh.
underfed. No, it was everything. It was everything. It was like I drank a shitload the night before, then I wake up and I go, ooh, I am disgusted. And you know when they start like sweating out the whiskey, sweating out the liquor.
I can't relate.
Okay. So, anyways, I drank too much, and so I kind of had a hangover. I had to go back to this amphitheater area for a while, and then I was sitting around kind of waiting for my time to shine. I was waiting for this breakfast that they promised us. I was expecting actual food, maybe some eggs, some like ham sandwiches, half a bagel. So I eat half a bagel, and I took an Adderall because I was trying to come up from this hangover so I could have a little bit of energy so I could talk to the producers and the people filming and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I would imagine Adderall actually is pretty important for doing the knife game as fast as possible because you'd be so focused on it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but also you need fuel. And there was no fuel there. So it's like I was essentially just like on speed and hungover and a little bit dehydrated and just sitting hungry as fuck. And I'm going, how long until the food comes? Because it's like, when is it going to be my turn to film and then go on stage? It's already been 7 hours. I've just been in a room.
So it was completely unorganized. They didn't tell you what time you would go on or anything?
No, everyone was there at the same time. There was a guy dressed as a werewolf who played the violin. There was the guy, I forget his name, but he's this guy who's like, he's an Australian comedian who has duct tape over his mouth, and then he does like a wordless. You know that guy?
No, that sounds terrible.
No, I guess he's all right. I think he actually moved up to the next stage or whatever. There was a few people that I recognized.
The comedian
from the
who put duct tape on his mouth made it through, and you didn't.
No, yeah, and I was like telling all these stories about I was like, I have nightmares about fucking Simon Cowell and Mel B. I loved you whenever you were Scary Spice, and Howie Mandel. I remember when you were the voice of Bobby's World, and Heidi Klum. I don't even know who you are really, but
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. It was just a big fucking waste of time. It's not even that great of a story because there's like no outcome. What?
How much did you get paid for your appearance?
$50.
What?
They paid everyone $50.
Well, did they pay for your like fucking room and board and flight and shit?
Yeah, they paid for all that. So I didn't. Yeah, there's no fucking way I would have done that. But I still had to travel out to like Orlando to do the tryouts. I'm like, why am I trying out for something that you guys are
inviting me to do?
So it really was. It's like the producers kind of doing this thing where it's like, oh, Big Shot, Rusty Cage. Oh, we would. I don't know why they're British all of a sudden, but it's like Rusty Cage. We would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, do more if it's the producer. Do more of like a Jewish accent.
Oh, yes. Oh, Rusty. Shit. Hold on. This is difficult. Why is British and Jewish so hard to?
I don't know.
Yes.
That's your Emp Lemon impression.
I know it is. He's Jewish.
Just do it as Emp Lemon. That's even funnier.
I really love your knife game song. If you just come on our show, that'd be great. Oh, sorry, Emp Lemon, who will never listen to this. I don't know. No, it really did suck. It was like I essentially just went in front of a huge audience and probably the most popular celebrities I've ever met and just made a fool of myself. And then I just left the amphitheater. They're like, all right, you're done. Go out the exit door. And then I'm just in Pasadena walking around and all the restaurants are closed. I'm like, fuck, now what do I do? And some people drove by like, hey, man, we saw you in the show. And I think they were laughing at me, though.
You should have asked them if they had any food.
Yeah, any food? Please, anything.
I'm guessing while you were in Hollywood or wherever the fuck, Pasadena, I'm guessing you spent more than the $50 you were paid. So it was like a net negative trip.
No, I did. Yeah, the night before the filming, I went to an Italian restaurant. It was great food, but I spent a lot of money there.
It's a big waste of time and money.
Yeah, no, right, because it really was. It was like I just honestly I thought it was like this is gonna be on TV, and I did get on TV. By the way, I did, and I could probably find a clip. It'd be very difficult to download like season 11, episode 5
It's
of
probably like
America's.
on Hulu or something.
It's something like that, but like there's 1 second. There's only 1 second that I made the show where they. Oh my god, this is fucking so stupid. I hate producers. So what they have you do is they have you do all this dumb shit like behind the scenes that's like good for the TV show, but it's not what you would actually do. So when I was doing my B-roll, they brought me to like the basement of this area. So it was like a cellar. And it's creepy. Oh, this guy plays the Knife Game song. He's gonna do Knife Game. And they're all talking to each other. They're saying this to each other, like, yeah, we can get him over there. He can probably be right in that cellar. It'll look really creepy. But they want him. They're like, hey, can you sit backwards on a chair? If you can imagine, like the Too Cool for School, principal that like.
Well, yeah,
wants to sit
you're
on
like the
chair
cool
backwards,
teacher who wants to shove his cock in the student's face.
No, like the let's rap.
Yeah, yeah,
Type
yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted me to like sit backwards on a chair and like flip a knife and then catch it. I said, I'm not gonna do that. There's no way I'm
You
sitting
would have
backwards.
looked cool as fuck.
No, it would not have. But then they got me though. They got me though because when we're right backstage, like this is the direct room that connects to the main stage where the judges are, where Nick Cannon walks back and forth from. They wanted to film me. They had me pick my teeth with a knife.
Oh,
So I was like, so I'm sitting back there like by like one of like the makeup booths that like the mirror with the lights all around it, the bulb lights. So they're like, yeah, can you pick your teeth with a knife? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't pick my teeth with a knife. But anyways, that's the scene that they used in the show. It was just
oh
1
my
second.
god!
It was only in the promo, and it's just me picking my teeth with a knife.
The most embarrassing part is the only part that's aired on TV.
Yeah. Oh, someone found it. Someone had sent it to me. I think I have it saved somewhere, but I gotta re-download it.
2025 and below. Here we go. Now's your time to audition for America's Got.
Didn't you say, I don't want to get off topic if you have more about this, but didn't you say before you moved, you found out that like the kid next door was a Rusty Cage fan?
Oh yeah. So this is actually like that. I just moved out of the house I was renting. I guess it's fucking weird, man. So the last video I'd made before then probably was the one where my house got burglarized by.
And the kid's like, wait, I recognize that house and yard.
So our houses are identical. So my neighbor's house and my house are exactly identical, and they're like made at the exact same time. The yards are the same. They both have the exact same shed. So he's watching this video, and he's probably going, "What the fuck?" Like what? Because I'm running through the house. I'm like filming the inside of the house. He goes, "I know that's my house." And so me and my roommate were just smoking out on the front porch, and he comes over. I have like some, I guess, tapestry up, so he couldn't really see me. But he's like, "Hey, does Rusty live here?" And I pop my head out. I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I saw that video. I'm a fan." They always say they're fans. You know what they are? Bunch of money grubbers.
Did he ask you for money?
No, I don't know. I was saying like, so in my head, I'm always worried. I'm like, all right, what does this person want? Because also, what are the fucking odds that my direct next door neighbor saw one of my videos that only had like 230,000 views worldwide? My next door neighbor saw it and says, I live directly by this person.
I mean, the odds can't be that bad. I've been recognized at my local grocery store a couple times, so it's not.
No, at your
I'm way
grocery
smaller
store-
than you.
No, at your grocery store is something because like there's a lot of people that, was it from someone that works there?
One time it was, but another time I went to the gas station next to my house and some guy like recognized me and then he like made a face like he felt sorry for me. And then I didn't hear this, but he told the cashier that he was paying for my stuff. And then he just paid for my stuff and didn't even say a word
And
to
then
me.
he looked at you with sad eyes.
No, he just walked out. I think, and it was like right when my whole life went to shit. So I think he just felt really bad for
jeez.
me. It was so sad.
My math could be off then, because like I was thinking it was fucking weird because like the kid was like, he's like, I don't want an autograph or anything. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, no.
Conceited.
No, definitely I don't want an autograph. I was like, don't dox me. He's like, I'm not. And then he's just like, all right, well, it was nice to meet you.
Wait, so the only conversation you had with your neighbor who recognized you from YouTube was asking if he wanted an autograph and then suggesting that he might blackmail you or give away your address.
No, here's the real thing. It was weird because I didn't know he lived there. I lived at this place for about 8 months, and there's like, I think his sister, who's like 40 or something, is my neighbor, and her son, who's like 12, 13, or I don't really know. They all live over there, but the sister mom is a Karen. She comes over all the fucking time. Every time we're drinking on the porch, and she'll go, "Hey, I'm really sorry. You guys are being really loud, and can you keep it down?" And
it sounds like you're the bad neighbor.
No, but we weren't being loud. Like, and people that would come over, they would say, I can't even hear you from about 10 feet away. And this lady's going, I can't even think. My brain is blah, blah, blah. So finally, this is probably about a month ago, she comes over, and I actually have a video of this. I'll send it to you, Mom. Or I'll just post it at the end of this episode.
Put it in the video or in the podcast.
I definitely don't seem like the hero, but in my head, I was like, I just called this bitch out finally, because what I always wanted to do. So she comes over and she's like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a bitch or anything, but first off, it does start out talking shit. And she's like, you guys are just being real loud and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, listen, hey, listen, lady, can you just go home and put some cotton in your ears and put a pillow over your face? And she goes,
you filmed yourself saying this to her?
Yeah, and like my mouth is slurring. I think I'm eating boiled peanuts at the time.
Because you're wasted.
I'm filming her, and she can see that I'm filming her, and everyone else is just kind of like being silent. And she's like, I will call the cops. I don't think she ever did, but later she would end up calling the cops. The cops would come around and say, we can't even hear anyone at the house. So I don't know. I don't party there anymore, but I do have this video. It's pretty funny because I come off as a huge jackass, and her
that'd
brother,
be a great way to end our first episode.
Sure. Okay. Should we do it right now?
Well, do you have anything else we want to talk about? We've been going on for about an hour.
No, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, I think this is I mean, considering that 1/3 of the hosts did not show up, I think we did a pretty good job.
It's probably gonna be a little sketchy of a start. I know
this is literally the same exact quality as any episode of the Mumkey and Biggs show, so it's on par with my other show.
Well, Trash Rat Nation, good night.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, and here's Rusty's video harassing his poor old neighbor.
Okay, I kind of fucked this one up. I accidentally deleted the video of my neighbor bitching at me, but you'll just have to take my word for it that I was a huge dickhead.